Hey everyone, this is Sam Fam, and welcome to the 2K Lab channel. Today we're going to take a look at some of the best playmaking badges on NBA 2K22. In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the downhill badge, and we're going to show you why most people have been triggering it incorrectly. Now, by 2K's definition, this badge is supposed to help increase your overall speed with the ball in transition. Now, in-game though, majority of players trigger this badge inefficiently, because they would catch an outlet or rebound after a missed shot during transition, and they would turbo immediately to trigger the badge. So here I did just that. I turbo immediately, downhill popped up, but I end up getting nothing out of it because that's not really the best angle to speed boost or turbo into. And if you want to trigger the downhill badge at an optimal level, you first must understand that the badge itself actually triggers with turbo as long as you are still in transition and fast break, which means you don't have to do it right away. Here you can see I've caught the defensive rebound. I'm in transition, but I'm not rushing the downhill trigger. I'm surveying the court to find better angles to speed boost into. I've actually taken free dribbles here before I click turbo, but you can see once I click turbo, the downhill badge still triggers after free dribble as I cross half court. And because I was able to survey and find a better angle, I got the blow by and made the best use of that speed boost. Like the typical downhill trigger methods sets you up to very little. Like here, this is the typical method, right? You catch the ball, you turbo right away, but there's a defender right in front of you. So that's a very poor angle to speed boost into. Even if you're getting a speed increase, it's not going to add up to much because you don't have the right space, right? So surveying the court in transition, then triggering the downhill trigger is far superior. So here I've caught the rebound. I haven't done it yet. I'm dribbling it up. I see the angle there. I like that angle. So I'm going to click turbo, and now downhill triggers, and then I attack that gap, and then I get my layup. And then other aspect about triggering downhill this way is that you have to understand that you can even trigger it after crossing the half. So as long as the team is still in transition, you're good. So that's an outlet. I've received a Alonso ball. I've crossed half court already. I like that angle, that gap right there. So now I'm going to turbo into it after taking 2 dribbles. Then I trigger downhill. So there's no rush, right? I'm taking my time. I understand if I catch the rebound, I actually have time to wait for downhill to trigger, because as long as I'm in transition, I'm good. So I like that gap right there. So I'm going to angle myself there. And now I'm going to click turbo after I took 2 dribbles beforehand. Get that downhill, get that speed boost, and then finish. So now that we have the optimal method of triggering downhill established, let's take a look at the details of the numbers of this badge. And here you can see the attribute breakpoints you need to reach each different tier. Now in terms of the test, we had a player grab a defensive rebound, go into transition, trigger the badge, and then see how many frames it takes them to go from point A to point B. Now with no badge, it took the test player 75 frames to do so. And if you get the badge all the way to Hall of Fame, your frame speed increase is actually at 21%. So by the frames is 59, but the overall frame speed increase by percentage is 21, and that's a pretty significant jump comparing the two. Now if you get it to bronze, the frame speed increase jump is actually pretty decent, going from 0% to 8%. It's a small amount of frames, but you're talking tight windows here in transition. So that 8% frame speed increase is good. At silver, you're gonna get a frame speed increase of 11%, so 67 frames. By comparison, it's not that great at silver because the jump is only about a 3% jump. Bronze is better. And if you get it to gold, the frame speed increase becomes a 15% jump. So you go from 75 to 64 with our test player. This is solid, but it's still not as significant, let's say, as a Hall of Fame then at that point, because Hall of Fame is 21. So overall, here's the full chart breakdown. For this badge, we would recommend getting it to bronze because it will give you that speed increase you need. Hall of Fame obviously is very good compared to gold and silver, but it will take a lot of investment badge point wise to get there, and you probably won't trigger too many downhill situations unless you're the lead guard of the group. So it's either bronze, or if you like the new trigger method, the optimal way, and you can find a very good use of it, then Hall of Fame will be good for you. But definitely get it to bronze just to get that speed increase, and remember to use the surveying of the court method instead of just triggering right away. Alright, if you like this video, give us a like, and we look forward to speaking to you guys again very soon.